Audio Jungle.
My first question is, what inspired you to, jumpstart into like photography and styling, after high school? Since that was
So, okay, so as far as styling goes, I was a stylist like before I even knew it was possible to like make a career out of it. Um, just since I was a young child, like my favorite TV shows were How Do I Look and What Not to Wear.
oh,
I don't know if you remember those,
I
but those
remember
are my
when I could
favorites.
wear.
Yeah, those were like my shows as a child, and that was different from other kids who prefer like cartoons and like stuff like that. Um, and it kind of spilled over into my daily life. Like I became known to like help my family pick out their clothes for like special events and stuff like that. My aunt, she used to work for the government, the Secret Service. So she used to get invited to the White House Christmas party every year. And I just remember like going to the mall with her and helping her pick out her like dress or her outfit for the event. And I always like had fun doing that. That kind of just became a thing, like with all like close family and friends. I would help them pick out their outfits and whatnot. And it kind of transferred over into school, like with my friends and stuff like that. So with photography, so my great grandfather is like a notable photographer in African American history. He had an exhibit in the American History Museum as well as the African American History Museum.
Wow.
That kind of showcases his work and stuff like that. So photography, with me being a creative individual, that just always kind of came natural. And I always like heard it, it was just always something that was like prevalent in my life. So that just kind of came natural, as well as style too. And they kind of both go hand in hand. So yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Like, especially having like that kind of background from when you're when you were at a younger age, to like your grandfather being a part of like being a photographer and a notable photographer is like it was like kind of like in your blood, basically. It was like destined for
Basically.
you.
But
Well,
fashion, that was the side that truly came from like me. Like, well, my family has always been stylish and into style and stuff like that. And actually, my great grandmother was the first fashion editor of the Afro newspaper. So I forgot about that. But that truly just came, I feel like, from me. Like, it's just something I've always been interested in since a young child.
wow, okay. Okay. So, during your college years, you had the opportunity of, working with celebrity stylists now. Sakara Ashe Toure. How was that connect? Like, how did that come about, and what was that experience like working with her?
So it's funny, we kind of have like this weird connection. So one of my best friends, her cousin is Sankara's son's father.
Oh, okay.
So it was like this fashion showcase where my best friend was one of the models. And Sankara happened to be the stylist there. And when I saw her, it was just like, who is this fly ass girl? Like, it was just so eye catching for me, especially like being obsessed with style. So I became like really intrigued, and I saw how hard she worked and how serious she was about, getting her vision out. So we ended up going out afterwards, like, she was with her cousin and stuff like that. So we just kind of went out, had a few drinks. And I feel like we linked up again after that. But eventually I had hit her up, and I was just like, styling is something that I really want to do. I've been doing it for a while now, but I would love to get the chance to work alongside you and, just kind of learn the ropes the proper way. Because the way I had been going about it, I was a little, I started to become discouraged. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, you're okay.
Because I feel like I was just kind of doing it my own way versus the proper way, which wasn't really bringing in like an income. And I feel like I wasn't really getting the respect as a creative that I should have been getting. So I kind of wanted to learn from someone who's like been there and done that and who's building their own lane. And she was like the perfect person for that, being that we already had that connection. And working with her was nothing short of amazing. Like, I already had an idea of how I would go about doing things, but she kind of like put the fire like under my ass, like seeing how hard working she was, just how serious she was about getting that vision out. She really had a streamlined vision, and she would go after it, and she would take, you know, the necessary needs to get her vision out. And I just truly and honestly respected and admired that. And yeah, I always knew she was gonna be like, you know, where she's bound to hire, because that's just who, you know, she is. Like, she's not stopping for anything less. Right. So that was definitely amazing. I'm definitely glad I was able to be one of her mentees and like learn from her and stuff like that. And she's big sis. It's always great to have someone who you can go to for advice with industry stuff per se.
Yeah, that's very important too. It's all about, you know, connections, and having that connection at an early, you know, at an early time is even better, you know, just because you always have that relationship. You can always be like, hey, how is everything going, and like connect and everything like that. So that's very important.
And having someone you can learn from and refer back to, who's kind of been there and done some of the things that, you know, I'm currently like doing. So.
Okay, yeah. So, speaking of what you're currently doing, what are you currently doing? And how has your journey been as a creative entrepreneur so far?
It's been fun. It's been interesting. I would say definitely consistency and persistence have taken me a long way. I would say that. So currently I have a few like clients that I have on retainer that I work with on a monthly basis. And I've kind of been taking the quarantine time to take a step back and kind of reassess all my values and things like that. And that gave me a chance to kind of make good sense of everything and figure out how I wanted to go forward with my brand. So it kind of came to me that my brand mission is to bridge the gap between inner and outer beauty, because I'm also a holistic health enthusiast. I love health, I love skin, I love beauty, and all of those arenas kind of go hand in hand when it comes to beauty. So I was able to figure that out. I was able to sharpen up my skills. I was still able to work with my clients. So honestly, quarantine has been kind of good for me.
Yeah. That's a good thing. You know, a lot of people aren't so happy, but it's good when you are able to. I think, especially for creatives, it's like it has helped us kind of tap into another realm for us and like really dig deep into what we really love and what we really do. So it's a plus on my end.
It's definitely a plus. It kind of gives you that time to step back and see, you know, maybe it was some things you weren't doing as far as your career goes, or it was some, you know, areas that you can sharpen up that would make you a more successful person. And I feel like it definitely allotted me that time to do that and just take things more serious, because take myself more serious as an entrepreneur, because I feel like when situations like this happen, your job can be like taken from you like that. So if you don't have anything substantial of your own, it's like you can't really stay afloat, or you're, you know, depending on the state or the government or whatever else to keep you afloat. And it's like, nah, I'm not trying to live like that. Never have been, but this was definitely the time to like take life as an entrepreneur more seriously for me.
Yeah, it's like a wake-up call, basically.
Definitely a wake-up call. And we need that every so often, and sometimes we don't realize that we do, because I was kind of, you know, before all this happened, I was just like in the motions of life, like, you know, taking it kind of one day at a time. Yeah, but it was definitely needed.
Yeah, I understand. Same here. Same here. What is something that, you make sure your clients, learn from, learn from it working with you, or just the experience of you styling them or just taking their photos? Like, what advice would you give them? Or
Well, with all of my clients, whether it's a client I style, a client I photograph, or someone who's purchasing something from Soigné Healing, which is my wellness company, I want to add value to these people. So I want them to leave the J. Scurlock experience just feeling better than, how they felt when they came in or before the experience with J. Scurlock. I just want them to feel better, whether that's through confidence, through like being styled to make them feel like they can go conquer whatever they have to go conquer, or whether it's through health and nutrition, where they want to do better for themselves.
right.
So that's
important. That's what I loved about your brand is like it's very about bringing the inner you out, but also making sure that your outer beauty also results inside your inner beauty, and like being like healthy as well as being stylish as well as being who you are. So that's why I really love about your brand.
I'm actually working on a book that kind of reminds me. And right now the title is Where Fashion and Health Collide. And basically the premise of the book is going to be about, it kind of tells my story and how I got into both arenas and kind of where they meet each other at to make for a more successful individual. Okay. So I'm excited about that. It was just funny that you had mentioned that because
I can't wait. Let me know. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
So my last question is, another advice question, but what would you give, what kind of advice would you give to creative entrepreneurs who are trying to pursue the same thing you're doing or similar?
I would definitely say do your research, because I feel like a lot of people, they have this vision of what being a stylist is, or whatever arena they want to get into. They have a certain vision of what it is, and a lot of the times it's not like as glamorous as they think it is. It's definitely a lot of hard work, and in the beginning you're not really going to get paid for a lot of the stuff that you do until you pay your dues. So, and I feel like through that process of not getting paid and going through the hard work, going through the ups and downs, that's where you find out, or you figure out if that's something you really want to do.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say just stay persistent, stay consistent, and pay your dues. And if you're going down that route and you're feeling like it's not something you actually really enjoy, that gives you the opportunity to just go in a different direction because it's not for you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It will charge you to like, okay, let me find something else. Let me see what else is out there for me.
Right. What else is for me? What else do I enjoy? What else can be a passion that I will actually feel good about doing? What adds value to me as well as others around me? And gives you the time to really assess like all of that.
Right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and doing this
interview. Of course. Thank you.
I hope that when this whole because I'm in the Maryland area, so hopefully when the coronavirus ends, we can like meet up one day and
I would love that. Yeah. I would love that.
The interview, it should be posted next month, the second week of August. So
okay.
That's the 15th. So around that time. But I'll send you a for sure date and time and everything as well.
Okay. How was the lighting and stuff? Was it okay? I feel like
the lighting is good. Yeah.
Okay.
The lighting is really good. Yeah. So.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you again.
Yes, thank you. Nice meeting you as well.
Nice meeting you too. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks.